It is a Saturday morning in summer. You are standing in a grocery store, and in your two hands are two baskets holding almost the same thing the same fish, the same vegetables. One basket costs $11, the other costs 18. They look nearly the same to your eye. And everything you have ever learned about saving money, every careful bone in your body, is telling you to put the expensive one back and take the cheap one home. For 3 videos now, I have told you where never to waste your money. Today, I am going to tell you the opposite. The one place my grandmother spent freely, without ever once feeling guilty. The single place she believed it was a sin to be cheap. And it is that $18 basket in your right hand. My name is Daiki. I am 28 years old, and I grew up watching a woman who mended her own coat for 20 years, who kept the same car until it was ancient, who wrote down every yen in a little book, walk into a market, and quietly, deliberately pay more. More for the fish, more for the rice, more for the vegetables that were grown well. As a boy, it confused me completely. This was the most careful person I had ever known. Why here, of all places, did she open her hand? It took me years to understand, and when I did, it changed the way I think about money for good. So let me tell you the one thing, and let me be careful, because this is the most important thing I will ever say on this channel. The one thing you must never be cheap about is your own body. That is it. That is the whole of it. My grandmother understood something that most people spend their entire lives getting wrong. She understood that money and the body are not the same kind of thing. Money you can always earn back. Lose 1,000 yen and you can work and earn another 1,000. But your body does not work that way. There is only one. You cannot earn a new one. You cannot buy a new one at any price. And so, she reasoned, the food that builds that body day after day, for 80 years is not an expense at all. It is the cheapest medicine in the world, paid a little at a time, at the grocery store, instead of a great deal all at once, later at the hospital. Let me be straight with you, because I will not sell you nonsense. This is not me telling you to go and buy every powder and pill and wellness gadget that a stranger on the internet is selling. Most of that is a waste, and my grandmother would have laughed at it. I am not talking about anything you have to be sold. I am talking about real, plain food. Good rice, real fish, vegetables grown in real soil. The oldest, simplest things. That is where she spent, and that is where she never counted the coins too closely. Now, why did she believe this so deeply? I did not understand until I was grown and saw the numbers for myself. The people of Japan live longer than almost anyone on Earth, and on one small string of islands, Okinawa, they have lived longer still, with more of them reaching 100 years than almost anywhere in the world. These were not rich people, they were farmers and fishermen. What they had was not money, it was a way of eating. Real food, mostly from the ground and the sea, and a small rule they say at the table, hara hachibu, which means eat until you are 80% full. Not stuffed, not empty, enough. My grandmother ate this way her whole life without ever calling it anything. It was simply how you cared for the one body you were given. Here's the part that matters for your money, and it is the part almost no one connects. The single most expensive thing that can happen to a person is not a car or a house or a wedding, it is a body that breaks down early. The years of work lost. The bills that have no ceiling, the savings of a lifetime gone in a season of being unwell. My grandmother was not being generous when she paid more for good food. She was being the most careful saver of all. She was quietly buying decades, cheaply, one basket at a time. If you are walking this road too, subscribe and walk it with me. I am here every week. That is all I ask. Now let me give you the other places she refused to be cheap, because the body is more than what you feed it. She never went cheap on what her body rested on. You spend a third of your entire life asleep, a third of it on your feet. She understood that the bed you lie on for 8 hours every night, and the shoes that carry you across every day, are not luxuries. They are the ground your whole life stands on. A bad bed steals your sleep, and poor sleep steals everything else. Worn out shoes ruin the knees and the back that must last you 60 more years. So she spent, once, on the good ones, and kept them for a very long time. This is not the same as spending freely on everything. It is spending well on the few things that touch your body all day and all night. And she never went cheap on catching the small problem before it became the large one. The visit to the doctor while it was still nothing, the tooth seen to before it became an agony and a fortune. It is the same rule as mending the coat before the tear grows. A small cost now, paid on purpose, so that a ruinous one never arrives. The cheapest medicine of all is the problem you caught while it was still small. So there is the one thing, in its 3 parts, the food that builds the body, the rest that repairs it, and the care that protects it early. On everything else, be as careful as I have taught you. On these, open your hand without guilt. Now here's what I want you to do this week. The next time you stand in that grocery store, holding the cheap basket and the good one, and every saving instinct tells you to put the good one back, I want you to remember that you are not choosing between $11 and $18. You are choosing between a little now and a great deal later. Take the good one, just once, this week. Feel what it is to spend on the one thing that can never be replaced. That is where it begins. That is how my grandmother did it. That is how my father did it. And it is still how it is done in any home that remembers. So tell me, in the comments, what is the one thing you have decided is always worth the money, no matter how frugal you are? I read every one of them. And next time, I will finally tell you about the envelope. The one my grandmother kept in the back of a drawer that none of us were ever allowed to touch. There was a name for it, a Japanese name, and a reason it existed that I did not understand until I was a grown man. When I did, it changed everything. I will see you then.